Elizabeth Mitchlick, and I'm here with Dave Young. Today we're talking about selecting an advisor. Dave, what would you say is the most important attribute to look for when selecting an advisor?
Well, there's a lot of things to look for, but if you had to nail it down to one most important issue, I believe that it would be to select a fiduciary advisor. In the investment business, there's fiduciary advisors that make up, there's different estimates, somewhere between 10 to 20% of advisors are fiduciaries, and then the balance, the other 80% or 85% are non-fiduciaries. And a fiduciary advisor has a legal obligation to put the investor's interest first ahead of their own, whereas a non-fiduciary advisor is held to a different standard. It's called a suitability standard, which is pretty broad and allows a lot of different products to be sold. But anyway, working with a fiduciary, one who has a legal obligation to put your interest first, I think is probably the very most important thing any investor can do to protect themselves.
Okay, and after fiduciary responsibility, what would you say is next, most important?
Well, I'd say probably experience. There's a lot of people who are financial advisors. You're essentially going to pay most of them about the same price to work with them, and so would you rather work with an advisor who has a year of experience and a lot of education on what theoretically might work, or would it be better to work with an advisor who's got at least 10 years of experience? I think if you set a benchmark of at least 10 years of experience, that means that advisor's been through the 2000 bear market and been through the 2008 bear market and is still standing. And with that in mind, I'd rather have that person, a more experienced person, be my guide through what's going to happen in the future.
Okay, so what about track record? Most advisors don't publish one.
Yeah, most advisors don't publish a track record, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But to me, unless you can see the track record, who knows what you're hiring? I mean, for example, it's easy to to have all kinds of theoretical reasons why a person should come follow you, but unless they have a track record, you don't really have any way to judge them. And that's really, at the end of the day, what you're hiring them for is what they can do for you going forward. And while track records don't there's no guarantee that the future is going to be like the past, at least you can see what they've done in the past and how it's worked out for their clients. So I think track record is a huge issue, and I don't think anyone should ever hire an advisor unless he can show them his or her track record and what they've done over the last 5 years at a minimum, but 10 years is a lot better.
Okay, so how do you identify conflicts of interest?
Well, there's a lot of conflicts of interest potentially. If you work with a fiduciary advisor, you're going to be freeing yourself of most conflicts of interest. One way to tell if there's a conflict of interest is if you're being sold a product. If you're being sold a product and there's a surrender charge on that product, where you're basically locked into that product for 5 years or 6 years or 7 years, if that is part of the product, then there's a conflict of interest because you're being sold something. The right relationship, I believe, that you want to have with advisors, you want to have the advisor so he's on the same side of the table with you. He's looking at your situation, your goals, your objectives, and he's working with you to help achieve those. And that's different than him sitting on one side of the table and you sitting on the other, and him selling you products that he's receiving a commission for, and he's getting to decide what the commission is that he wants. He could select a product that's got a 4% commission, a 5% commission, a 10% commission, in some really extreme cases even higher than that. So you really want an advisor that you're not having to deal with what the commissions are that he's potentially charging.
Okay, so if an advisor isn't paid on commission, then what is it that you look for as far as how they get paid and how they...
Well, there's several different models, but in my opinion, the best way to pay an advisor is either on an hourly basis for their time, or to pay them on a fee basis, where they're paid a fee based on the size of the portfolio that they're managing for you.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching Paragon TV.